Alright, folks. Just making sure everything's on, really, to be honest with you. Good afternoon. I don't know what time of day is it. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to F1 Manager 2022. It's the season finale here in Abu Dhabi. Right, so we're diving straight in. I didn't actually plan to do this right now. I planned to sort of set the cars up and do the qualifying and then come back to this a bit later in the day. But then I thought, you know what, I've got a little window of opportunity. Let's just crack straight on and carry on and get this session done. Because yeah, strike while the iron is hot, I think the saying is. But anyway, if we go, but I don't know if we lose the car preparation if we go back to show you the qualifying result, but you can see the qualifying result for the two cars here. Lando Norris, dry race, all of the top players, your Verstappens, your Perez's, your Leclerc's, your Sainz's and all the rest of them, all had clear runs. Lando Norris qualified on pole, on pure pace, which is fantastic news. It was quite close. I think it was like 4/100ths of a second ahead of Verstappen, who's on second, I think. Perez was third, Leclerc got fourth, but he's got a penalty. So yeah, for the first time this season, we qualified on pole, on outright pace. This is boding very well for next season. So yes, very good indeed. So it comes to the strategy. Now this is a strategy that was deemed to be the quickest. Looks a bit strange, but it's the age-old strategy of using every tyre possible in the race, starting on the mediums, going on to the hards, finishing off on the softs. This was deemed the fastest for both, well, fastest strategy. The strategy actually put the soft tyre as the starting tyre, which would kind of make sense because that means you start on the quickest tyre for your race start too, but I was kind of concerned that if we come in too early with the soft tyre, we're going to be put in traffic, which is going to slow us down in the long run. So although we lose a bit of stickiness of the tyres on the start by starting on the harder compound mediums rather than the softs, at least when we start to pit, hopefully we'll be pitting into more clear air, which will be beneficial for our overall race pace. We shall have to wait to see. But everything has been done. The cars have been set up. The cars have the correct components in. So, for the final time this season, let's get this race underway. First and fifth, where will we finish today? Will Lando keep up this momentum?
Cloudy skies tonight, with the drivers now having
So we're starting on pole. It's exciting times. For the final time, the lights are 5 and the lights are off.
And away we go.
And we're off. We're off and racing here with Lando Norris. Let's have a look here. Where is Max? We've got him covered. Comfortable. It looks like Ricciardo is bogged down here. We've got Mercedes riding the curbs and Ricciardo has regained his 5th position. Lando has managed to stick it in first as a bit of going offline there slightly from Hamilton, but we're going down this long straight now, the longest straight on the track here, as we continue to push with Daniel tyres, engine, and with the ERS2, but it's not enough. It's not enough to get past Hamilton on this occasion. We might have to get into a routine and look at that DRS pass instead. But we're just going to continue to push for a little bit longer as we now make our way down, kind of straight here, a bit curved, but nonetheless it's flat out as we head down, but a heavy braking zone into the sweeping left-hander as we come into the final, more technical section of the circuit, as Lando Norris is indeed still in first, is indeed going to turn things down and get into his race routine here. Looking at the compounds here, I'm quite surprised. Lots of cars starting on medium. Now this is worth noting because cars that are starting on medium are probably doing a 1-stop and going medium hard, and that is it. We're doing a 2-stop here and committing to it. So Perez is probably doing a 2-stop because the strategy was soft hard medium, or soft medium hard, I can't remember. I think it was soft hard medium. So anybody starting on a soft tyre is 2-stopping. Anybody starting on a medium, I would suggest, is probably 1-stopping right now. So this could indeed lead to some interesting situations. Daniel, of course, on this strategy, needs to get past these cars, because if they're slowing him down, he has to make another stop, and they only making one. So he could really make do with his utilising his race pace, because we can push harder. These guys are going to have to. We've got a crash on track.
Sounds like a single car.
Vettel.
Here's the replay.
It's Vettel here.
Let's have a look here.
The back of the
This was
grid.
the Aston Martin.
Let's have a look. He's just completely lost control.
There's the crash.
Couldn't have put it better myself, Crofty. He just lost control. So yeah, the fact of the matter is, Verstappen, the Hamiltons around here, they're going to have to conserve their tyres a bit more than we do. We have a little bit of a little bit of tyre pushing available to us because we're two-stopping, and we have to utilise that tyre pushing to create a gap. But yeah, so it's worth noting that Perez two-stopping, and he's on a used set of softs too, which makes it even more of an extreme strategy for him. So Ricciardo, yeah, has to get past Hamilton and Verstappen ideally. Is it going to be possible? We're going to try to orchestrate as much as we can when that DRS opens.
DRS enabled.
It's enabled this lap. So let's see, we're going to ride on board with Daniel here and manage Daniel's race for now, because Lando is just nicely in front, doing what he does best, and that is controlling the pace from the front of the race. He's becoming quite accustomed to this, isn't he? He's old, or young little Norris. He's used to doing this now. It's his fourth race or so where he's had this lead and has got the luxury now of controlling the race from the front. So everybody's got DRS now. You can see I've got people jinking left and right. Perez is on the softer tyre, slightly different strategy of Verstappen. Should really be letting him past to try to attack Russell, really, if you were playing the team game. And I wouldn't suggest that he has let his teammate pass there. Perez probably just utilising the quicker soft tyres. Now, he may gain on Norris on those quicker soft tyres. They are slightly more worn, which means that in a few laps' time we're probably going to be doing a similar pace. And he's going to have to come in earlier than we do. And look at that, Verstappen scything his way back past there. And so as they squabble, that's going to help Norris out a little bit. And we'll push Norris a little bit later in the stint on his tyres. But yes, as they squabble, it's harming Ricciardo and not harming Norris, though, is it? It's giving him that nice little buffer. It means he can continue to drive around happily and merrily here. But we are in a state of, we're in a situation that's a bit problematic with Daniel. I don't know where the DRS zones are on this track. I forgot to do my due diligence here, I must admit. Literally. And the reason why I've booted this game up today, I'm recording this on Sunday, you're probably going to see it on Monday, actually, because I don't have a stream plan because I'm going out, so you can watch this instead. It's because I've just watched the Australian GP. High drama, bloody hell. At the front, it was a little bit more stable. The positions didn't really change too much, but the race itself, with the red flags and the yellow and the safety cars and all, cars crashing and engines blowing up, and oh my god. But ultimately, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen was far, far too quick for everybody else. Incoming long season ahead if you're not a Red Bull fan, I suppose. But nonetheless, the action behind was pretty good. The cars. You've got your Astons, your Mercedes, your Ferraris, they're going to be, I reckon, in a bit of a ding-dong for second in the Constructors. And they're all pretty close to each other, so that's quite cool. As Hamilton has got past Perez here, so these three just having a right old squabble, and that really does hamper us. It's difficult for us to get past. The reason why Ricciardo is a little bit slower than Norris, in addition to being generally a slower driver on the whole, it's just that his engine parts, gearbox, ERS, etc. are slightly more worn. Remember, he lost some of his components in that crash in Singapore, so he's using more used components, and given it's the last race of the season, don't really want to be spending £1 million on a new part for one race, so he's having to use slightly more worn parts in his car when compared to Norris, who has parts that he's using which were new a handful of races ago when we bought them. So that's why Daniel's a little bit compromised, but hey, self-inflicted. Shouldn't have crashed in Singapore, should you? So you've got to live with those consequences. Norris 2.2 ahead now. We're going to switch to the outside view for this one. Let's see what Ricciardo's doing. We're struggling to get past, but also Alonso is behind us. We're not pulling away from him, which indicates that this squabble that is happening is indeed slowing the pack up. Because, I mean, look at the field spread. Normally by this point in the race, the field is a little bit more spread apart, but all the way from Hamilton, all the way down pretty much to Ocon, all within the DRS range of each other here. So we've got from 2nd to 10th pretty much all in a little train, and that's not good. I wonder if Perez's tyres are going to start to drop off here. His softs 70%. I'm saying that these guys on medium are going to be one-stopping, because that seemed to be the strategy, medium onto hard. Whereas it was the soft starting tyre which indicated a two-stop. But their tyre wear isn't much different from ours at the moment, which is interesting. Right, let's see what we can do with Daniel here, because don't forget we've also got the ability to push Daniel's tyre a little bit too. So we're going to start to do that, actually, I think. Let's see if we can make a move on Perez here. Let's push here. Maybe give a bit of overtake down this long straight. It's difficult for us to pass on a straight given our lack of straight line speed, but we'll just give it a bit of juice here. Bit of juice. See what happens on these more worn, tired Red Bull in front of us. Switch that to deployment so we get a bit of more deployment throughout the rest of this lap. We're pulling out to the right. We're trying to push here. We'll just give him this for for maybe a lap or so. We can probably afford to do that. It's the fuel, actually. It's the more pressing concern. But there's 75% chance of a safety car apparently here, so you never know. Safety cars in Abu Dhabi. Same sentence. I don't bloody think so, pal. It's not. Oh, having flashbacks. Right, we're still stuck in this train. This is not looking good. We're going to continue to allow this to push to the end of the second, to the end of the first sector of the next lap, I think. But it's not looking like we're making a move past. But what's rather interesting is the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton is up into P2. Mercedes are, even in qualifying, were looking pretty quick here. Must just suit their track. Maybe they've had some upgrades. I don't know, but it's good to see them up there slightly. Not ahead of Norris clearly, but we don't want to see that. But certainly, giving the Red Bulls a run for their money is pretty nice to see. But yeah, look at that. We're just really not, even with the full pushing here,
And that's the lockup.
not really making an indentation into this. But we're stuck in that kind of DRS train type situation. If any of these cars don't have DRS on the car in front, we'd be cruising on past. But because we've all got it, we're kind of stuck in a rut, which is catastrophic for Daniel's race, because I'm sure if he was allowed to push on his tyres, he'd be quicker than all of these guys, because Norris is quicker at the moment and he's not pushing at all, even though he does have the ability to do so if he needs to, but he doesn't need to. So we'll keep him nice and comfortable for now. And because we have a situation going on with this little train, I don't really want to start fast forwarding. We will speed the time up during this race to allow me to finish it at a reasonable hour, because I am going out at 2 to get these flowing locks chopped off. Flowing locks, yeah. But my hair's just at that kind of length that I don't like it. It's still short enough for it to be classed as short hair, clearly, but it's just getting to that longer side of short, which I start to think I don't know. I just don't think it looks very good when it's at this length. I like to have my hair quite short nowadays. Gets to this length, it's like it's getting a bit untidy. Sometimes I have to take a comb to it, which is not too far off this length now. That's when it's game over. It's like, okay, now that I'm having to comb my hair, definitely time to get it cut. But anyway, hair dramas aside, Norris is 2.6 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who may well be slowing up the Red Bull slightly. Although, saying that, they're not passing, are they? Let's have a look at the tyre situation, and they are all on the same strategy. Perez is 60% to worn softs. Well, I think Perez is fair game. Perez may well drop away from Verstappen here. It's starting to happen. As soon as he goes outside of a second, he's fair game for us. So Daniel's time for passing Perez is soon to be coming here, you would think, because Perez is beginning to struggle to keep up with Verstappen and Hamilton. Although he has closed that gap slightly going into the final sector of this lap. Ocon is just dropping off the Ferrari of Leclerc, of course, who had a penalty. He seems to be making his way through the field. Sainz qualified down in, was it 8th and 9th, I think he qualified, Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Must have had a compromised Q3. Nonetheless, he's not showing any great pace here. But then again, as we're seeing, it's actually deceptively difficult to pass on this track. Given all the straights and stuff, you think, oh, it must be quite simple to pass here, but it's looking slightly more tricky than it would seem. But anyway, Perez is still just about clinging onto the DRS of his teammate ahead of him, which means that we aren't able to make a move right now, but soon as we are, we shall be ready for it as we take a look at the cars streaming down the straight in all their splendour. Which, you know, next pre-season or off-season lies ahead of us. I don't know what to expect in the off-season. I've never done an off-season before, so you know, just need to make sure that we keep developing the car when we can. We need to pick a driver to partner Norris next season. Do we stick with Daniel? Give him another chance. You know, it was sad to say goodbye to the Honey Badger, but you know, he's had a bit of an up and down season. Sector 2 incident. Who is it? Can't tell from the timing screens.
Yellow flags.
Oh, it's a spin. Oh, it's Joe. He spun off. I'm not interested in watching that. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who the team plump for. Okay, Daniel's looking pretty quick compared to Perez at the moment. It can't be too far off orchestrating a manoeuvre. Yes, we'll see who partners Norris. I'm kind of sad about letting Daniel go if we do, but we need consistency. And I want to get somebody that's going to give Norris a bit of a fight, because if we do have the best car next season, which is a distinct possibility, and we do start to show some good pace, you know, having one car cruising off into the distance, it might be cool to have at least our teammates close in performance so they can battle each other and give the fans something to watch. Variable sunlight. I don't have my preview screen on, but my face may be lit up like a Christmas tree right now. Never mind. See the pitfalls of being sat next to a window. But anyway, I'm recording in the daylight hours, like a vampire. I usually record after hours, but hey, I've got a bit of time today to bring this to you. Get this up for Monday, so you can watch something in my absence. Right, so Norris 3 seconds ahead of the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. The Mercedes in P2, quite a turn-up. They have won a race at Monza, we remember it well. So that's not too shabby. Norris still not giving the hurry up. He's like, can I push yet? No, Norris, don't need to push. You've got 3 seconds gap. You're doing perfectly fine. Just keep on cruising, my friend. Save that fuel. Save those tyres for an emergency, just in case you might need to. How's my teammate doing? Oh, he's struggling to pass Perez. It's fine. We'll get him. We'll get him eventually. Right, 9 tenths. That still means he gets DRS. Just about. He's clinging on for grim death here onto the back of his teammate. What I am surprised about is the fact that Verstappen is struggling to pass Hamilton. Such is the pace of the Mercedes. So I'm going to keep checking these tyres. Yeah, everything is looking pretty steady with the tyres here. I'm still kind of intrigued to see. Hang on a second, I may have spoken too soon, because Verstappen is making a move on the Mercedes of Hamilton here. Is he going to make it stick down this long straight? Because Hamilton will fight back with DRS because he was behind at the detection line. So Hamilton fighting back now, and he gets back ahead of Verstappen. Close, but no cigar. That, of course, slows them all down, which brings Perez back into play, which is bad news for us because it means that he gets the DRS on his teammate. and it means that we continue to struggle to pass him, despite the fact that he's now got 48% worn softs, which surely will be much slower than the tyre that we're on right now, which means that, you know, genuinely he really is beginning to slow us down at this point. If they weren't squabbling, they'd probably be a second ahead of him now, but as things stand, he's still just about there in a horrifically painful twist. Come on, Verstappen, gets to break that 1 second. I mean, goodness me. Give us an opportunity to get past him. The thing is, we can get past Perez and we'll just end up stuck in the same situation as we were behind him, as when we're stuck behind his teammate and Hamilton. We're not going to be blasting past either of those, to be honest with you. And if we were being even more tactical, we might decide to want to conserve some tyre life with Daniel so that he can extend his stint perhaps a little bit, maybe. Oh, hang on a second. Perez, now 1.5 seconds behind, is now clearly dropped away, which means that the game is on for us now to start to push. I don't even think we're going to need ERS at this point. We've got DRS and engine and tyre life compared to Perez. This should be like taking candy from a baby when we get to the next meaningful DRS point. So now having Daniel start to put the pressure on the Red Bull of Perez, start to set up a passing manoeuvre as Perez's tyres really now beginning to drop off. He's struggling to cling onto the back of his teammate now, thankfully. So here we go, left-hander here, first corner, and then we've got a couple of sweeping left, and then a right, and then we might even get him before the long straight if we can outbrake him here. Doesn't look likely at this point. No, right, we are going to give him overtake just to be on the safe side, and here we go. This is where we expect to pass. If we do not pass here, I will be severely depressed, but we are. Better traction out of the corner, DRS down the straight. It's a long straight.
Okay.
And there we go, made it stick.
Good move,
and back down to standard
And McLaren
across
with a
the
great
board.
overtake.
See if we can now start to pull the gap down from Verstappen. Let's take a look at the tyre strategy.
Okay, looking after the tyre.
Yeah, Daniels is a bit more
Okay, understood.
compromised. His current tyre is 57% compared to Norris's 64 there, so I don't know how. Look at this, Russell managed to get past Perez quite quickly too, which puts him a threat to us. Okay, let's go.
We need to push.
Gonna give Daniel a push order. Daniel's gonna have to come in a lot earlier than Lando here. Well, I'll say a lot, probably about 2 laps earlier. But he can be comfortable on his hard tyre. I think an undercut here might be possible too. So we're gonna give Ricciardo the hurry up. It's not looking like he's gaining any time on Verstappen, but nonetheless, we'll ask him to go as quick as he possibly can. As Lando Norris cruising out in front. A nice little Sunday drive here. Look at this. I'm going to give Norris a little bit of a push now. Norris, you can push if you want, mate.
Maximum pace.
Just give yourself a little bit of pushing. Maybe pull out a nice healthy sort of 5-second gap now. Just protect against any potential undercuts, anything dramatic happening. Just start to tease out that gap a little bit. Looks like Hamilton is once again battling with Max Verstappen, which of course helps. Because it means that they're going to slow down, but once again, looks like Lewis
We don't want to lose too much time.
has got the DRS at the detection point, was behind, and once again repasses. Verstappen's going to have to change his strategy if he wants to get past Hamilton there. It's the second time that's happened to him. Won't be a happy bunny. Wasn't a happy bunny today. I mean, he won the race, but it's not to have a dig at Hamilton when he passed him in the third corner of the first lap. Seemed to suggest he did something illegal. Anyway, 4.2 seconds is the gap. As we've turned the juice up on Lando a little bit. Fastest lap of the race, just toying with his opponents. Just cruising around nicely. Shall I go a bit faster? Are you sure? No, not yet. Not yet. Just tell me when. I don't know why I'm looking over there like they're talking to me over my shoulder. They're in my ears. Hello? I can't touch my ears because I've got a helmet on either, so I don't mind doing that as well. Hello? Sorry. I had a few drinks last night. I'm probably still slightly hungover, to be honest with you. Breathing heavily into the microphone. Rum breath. Right, so yes, 4.5 seconds. It's just pulled out a second on Hamilton this last sort of lap. Sparks flying. Whoa! He just started to cut at the right moment, or the wrong moment as the case may be, as George Russell is attacking Daniel Ricciardo, who does a Hamilton and gets the DRS as Russell passed a bit prematurely perhaps there, but this is looking quite tasty here, and it's looking like Russell has that race pace on us at this moment in time. So look at the tyre situation. Russell has slightly less worn tyres than we do. We're pushing because we're going to be stopping twice more. Is the two-stop going to be a strategy that ends up being a good one at the end? We don't know. We could switch Norris to a one-stop if we really wanted to, by extending his first stint, but I think we're fine. We'll stick with what the strategists have told us is the fastest strategy, and that is exactly this. So these soft-tyred runners coming in for their first of two stops, they should be putting on a set of medium tyres, I would suggest maybe, or are they going to go into the hards and go into the mediums at the end? Okay, hard tyre stint now, which makes sense because putting the softer compound on towards the back end of the race when your car's lighter on fuel means you can just push those tyres a bit harder, and they're quicker for the end of the race. But yeah, Perez in now, Alonso in, Sainz in, Bottas in, and this is where the split strategies work. We've got some people two-stopping. I'm convinced we've got some people one-stopping. So it's all to play for. It's all going to play out, and we'll see how it plays out. As Ricciardo, let's have a look at him. His pit strategy is not ready yet. It's still far too early for him to come in. This moment in time, I'm just going to go standard again now. Trying to hold Russell off, but Russell is looking like he's mightily quick right now. I anticipate we'll be ahead of Russell at the end of the race. It's just this first stint. We were slightly compromised, stuck behind slower runners, but I reckon we'll be fine at the back end of the race once we put those soft tyres on especially. Just got to endure a bit of short-term pain here, defending against Russell for some long-term gain. We are in the pit window. It's still a bit early. Norris on the other hand, loving life. 5.8 seconds to Hamilton, who still manages to stick ahead of Max Verstappen here. Interesting indeed. We're not massively losing a lot of time to Verstappen. We're kind of matching their times right now, which is very pleasing. Very pleasing indeed. It's going to be an interesting end of this race, I think. Yeah, certainly for Ricciardo. Russell with the DRS on Ricciardo still can't make it stick. Bit of close racing going on further down the field. Sainz is in 11th. Of course, he's pitted, of course, as Perez. He's got 6 seconds to make up on Gasly. We could check out the time that these guys are doing to get the differential between them and us. How quick are these tyres? We'll have to wait until Perez crosses the line. But Norris on worn mediums is doing 131.3s. Let's see what Perez will do when he crosses the line next. Although he has got his way through traffic, so it's probably not going to be a representative time, I wouldn't suggest. We're going to have Norris do one last lap here.
100% pace now.
So we'll just check out Perez's time, see what time he gets. He's coming around the last few corners. Any of these new tired runners? Is it anywhere near a 131.4? 131.2 with a little bit of traffic, so that's pretty quick. So yeah, brand new hards clearly better than the used mediums here. Yes, we're going to pit Norris. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're going to stick with the strategy. Just a set of hards going on. Full push on the tyres. Use your tyres up. Ricardo is battling with Russell. I kind of think that we're going to bring him in sooner rather than later. Maybe get a bit of an undercut going.
And box this lap.
And push him too.
Box confirmed.
We'll get DRS back on Russell. This is the age-old strategy that seems to be used to good effect by both Ricciardo and Hamilton. Is repassing with the DRS there. We're now 4 seconds behind Verstappen, so we've lost a little bit of extra time. But that's a look. Here comes Norris. He's coming around the final few corners, and he's going to dive into the pits. Here we go, putting on a set of hard tyres. Could potentially try to make it to the end on those, although no, look at that, it's clearly not going to happen. We have committed to a two-stopper here.
Understood. Remember the pit lane speed limiter.
Likewise with Daniel. Here we go, new set of tyres going on. Excellent job, and out of the pits we go. So let's have a look. Norris rejoining in P5, which isn't bad. He's got some clear air, and I don't think we need to go too hard on these. I think we've got a long stint.
Just be careful.
Again, we'll push towards the back end of that stint. We'll just let the fresher tyres do their thing as Ricciardo comes out right behind Perez, who's also two-stopping. But look how, well, we're literally exactly where we were when we were behind Perez last time. So this is a bit of a bummer. Depends if we're quicker. We've got the slightly fresher tyres now, because we've come in a couple of laps later. And we're going to get the DRS here. So I kind of think, where are we here? I think we might be able to have a little bit of a go at Perez here.
Understood.
He's already going to have a try, going down into this corner. And he does go round. He does overtake. And we just now need to pull away. Pull away as quickly as possible. Well done there, Daniel. Great move. Got the momentum here.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
So Norris is 4.9 to Russell. We'll see how that gap changes. Don't forget Russell has he changed his... No, he's on worn medium. So this is like an undercut type territory here. 4.7. We should be gaining at this point. Right, we are going to turn it down here now. Daniel is just managed to pull 0.8 seconds ahead of Perez, which is pretty decent pace. Pretty decent pace indeed, and gaining on Gasly quite quickly. I thought it was a back marker we were approaching, but actually it is Pierre Gasly. Different strategies, of course. Look at how close Perez got there with that DRS here. Can't afford to keep pushing Daniel too hard, so it is what it is. Perez has got the DRS open now, going down this straight, and we're not close enough to get it from Gasly just yet. Will Perez be able to pass up the inside of that corner? No, he's just slightly too far back. Now we are. So I'm just trying to figure out. So basically, let's have a look at the cars ahead. So all of these cars are probably going to one-stop, which means that naturally we are currently in P5. We have to stop again too. So we are actually in this. Position where we are going to have to repass these cars. We've got the faster tyre at the moment, so that's helping us to close that gap down. We will be putting on a set of softs at the end, which will be a faster tyre than their worn hards at the back end of the race. So I think it's still looking good, but it's just one to keep an eye on here. We could really do with blasting past the likes of Leclerc and Russell as quickly as possible. Speaking of which, they're in a bit of a ding-dong battle right now. Less than a tenth of a second behind is the Ferrari. He's got the DRS open. Let's have a look if he's going to make a manoeuvre here. It looks like he will do. He's going up the inside, coming into this sweeping left-hand corner. This is where Daniel made his move on Perez, and there you go. Perez, speaking of Perez, it looks like he may well have got Daniel when we went looking. Powering down the straight there with DRS open. It was a simple enough task, but the question is, will he make it stick? Will Daniel fight him back? He is kind of trying to fight him back, but not getting past right now. So this is a very tight battle here for P6 as things stand. Now Verstappen is coming in. Let's ride on board here to see what tyres get put on. It should be a set of hards. Yep, look at that, a set of hards going on. Will they be going to the end on those hard tyres? Will he be trying to eke out those hard tyres to the end? I'd suggest probably so. As Norris now moves up to P4. Bearing down on Russell, who's on worn mediums, don't forget, as is Leclerc as well. As is Hamilton. So this is where we now need to get into the groove and just keep moving forward. We've got Ricciardo stuck behind Perez for the time being. But this is a hard tyre stint. We just want to make sure that we've got plenty of life. And to be fair, we have got plenty of life. We could start to push these tyres a little bit harder if we wanted, but I'd rather push them towards the back end of the stint rather than now. But look at that, Daniel is making it work for him. He has... Do you know what I want to do? Speaking of that, I think I'm going to give Daniel a little bit of a hurry up, just to see if we can break that 1 second.
Let's see what pace you can do.
I reckon Perez is keeping up with us purely because of the DRS situation. So let's see if we can break that 1 second, give ourselves a little bit of comfort. Give it a try. We can afford to push on the tyres, we can afford to push with the engine. We can claw the engine, claw the fuel back towards the back end of the race, and the tyres we've seen, we have a little bit of pushing in them available. So let's do it now. As Russell enters the pits, Leclerc and Hamilton surely won't be too far behind them. As at 0.8 now, just beginning to extend. A second now is the gap.
Good lap.
Ricciardo getting the fastest lap of the race, in fact.
Yeah, understood.
Once again, over a second. Great for the DRS situation. This is precisely what we want to see. So Daniel has got a little bit of pace in him if given the ability to unleash it. We've got 2 cars ahead, absolutely nip and tuck, and it's because Norris is now caught up to Leclerc. Leclerc will be pitting in the next lap or two, so there's no need to do anything silly. You need to put yourself at risk, but nonetheless, you still want to be getting past here. And this should be easy. This should be easy. We've got much fresher tyres, powering down, DRS open, sweeping around the outside if necessary, and that's Norris up to P2.
Nice job.
But Leclerc isn't going down without a fight, but it seems like a fruitless battle there for Leclerc. Completely wrong, not wrong tyres, but completely worn tyres there. It's a battle that you really don't want to be wasting your own time with, getting tangled up with the opponent. You'd be better off just trying to stick within the DRS if possible, but he's going into the pits. Hamilton is in the pits too. They're putting on their set of hards, which are probably going to go to the end on. We have another stop to make with both of our cars, so this is where perhaps we might need to start to look at putting that pace down if we've got any. Ricciardo, P4, we've got Leclerc and Hamilton pitting ahead of him. He's passing them both. He's in P2. He's in a bona fide P2 here. We're going to continue to push with his tyres for now as well. And this is it. A 1-2 from McLaren. What a great result it would be to have a 1-2 to finish the season. But there's a long way to go, and Ricciardo is the one that's most at risk of not finishing in second. But if he can have a fast middle stint here on these hard tyres, strap on a set of softs, towards the back end of the race and put the hammer down. Will that be the strategy that wins it? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm going to give Norris a little bit of pushing here. Just a little bit.
If you can, push. Yeah, confirm.
Just, you know, just because we can. As we settle into our sort of middle stint now. 24 laps gone. 34 to go. Excuse me. So let's have a look at the race elsewhere. We've got Perez in P3. He was on a 2-stop, I believe. Started on the soft, so he could well be coming in again. He's kind of looking like he's holding up the cars behind. We've got Alonso into P4. Has he stopped? Yes, he has. He stopped once. He's on a set of hards. But I think he might be stopping again. I think Alonso was another one that came in early. So that's going to be not a P4 that's representative of his potential finishing position. We've got Verstappen up into P5. He's got ahead of Hamilton on the strategies there. He's undercut Hamilton by the looks of it. Hamilton 2.3 seconds behind. He's got Sainz coming up around, coming up to the back of him there. We've got Leclerc in P8 and Russell in P9. Ocon is the last of the point scorers in P10. So lots of little nuances here with the strategies. It's very difficult to call what's going to happen, but I do believe that we have control of this race. We will probably drop behind some of these cars when we come in for our set of softs, but we'll be on a much quicker tyre. Against the worn hard users, we'll be on fresh softs. We've got plenty. I think we had 3 sets of soft tyres that were unused because we qualified on the one set in Q1 and the same set in Q2. So we used one soft tyre for 2 qualifying sessions, which meant that we have a load of soft tyres spare if we needed them, but we only need just the one. Brand new set, 10 laps, 12 laps or so on that set. Just more than that perhaps. Yeah, looks more like about 13 actually, 13, 14 laps on a set of softs. We may even get fastest lap of the race, which would be good. Race victory. A 1-2 with a fastest lap. That would be the ideal end to the season. As Ricciardo is 3 seconds ahead of Perez now. Pushing his tyres. We're going to just take him off pushing for now, and same with Lando. It's,
okay, keep looking after the tyre.
we'll push him again towards the back end of that of that stint.
Just be careful with this tyre.
Alonso,
Yeah, confirm.
Verstappen, Hamilton, Sainz. Leclerc's a bit further back, but yeah, it's quite close, isn't it? Quite close indeed here, but we, however, are in a nice little land of our own, so we're going to 2-speed this for the time being, and just maintain this gap here to Perez. Just keep an eye on that. 3.7, it's ever increasing, which is a good sign, really. Means that we've got less work to do on those soft tyres eventually. 3.8 is the gap. If Perez is slower, and I think his tyres will be clearly more worn than the people around him, it's really good for us that he, creates a bit of a roadblock as his teammate on the quicker, hard tyre. Although Verstappen isn't stopping again, so it has to be a bit more conservative. You would imagine, as you would think team orders would dictate that let Verstappen through is on a completely different strategy. But clearly, the AI, I hardly doubt, will be quite so savvy when it comes to such strategies, and Verstappen is indeed stuck behind Perez, which is severely compromising not just his race, but the race of all the other cars that are on the slightly quicker tyre right now, such as Hamilton and Leclerc, for example. So they're all beginning to start to queue up behind Perez, although Verstappen has just got past, which he will believe is not a time too soon. So now the gap is 4.4, and this is the gap that we have to keep an eye on, because
I think we've had a car
clearly
run
Verstappen
wide.
is the quicker of the two Red Bulls right now, so we would anticipate him maybe starting to close that gap on Ricciardo, although at the moment it's staying at a nice steady 4.4, which is pretty decent. Although is it decent, because we have to come in again and we will lose about 20 seconds, so we'll be about 16 seconds behind Verstappen when we make our second pit stop, and we'd have to make that time up on those soft tyres, so it's not perhaps as good for us as it might seem. We need to be pulling away a little bit, I would like to suggest, as the Red Bulls continue to battle, and now Perez is back ahead again. Hamilton watching on, he's got the best view in the house of that little ding-dong tussle. Leclerc has now caught to the back of his teammate, who of course is on the slightly different strategy, but again, team orders probably won't play a part, but you would hope to be getting past your teammate if you were in Leclerc's position, quite sharpish. Doesn't seem to be happening, does it? Yeah, seems like a bit more of a difficult track to pass on than it appears, as old Abu Dhabi here. I don't know how difficult it is to pass in real life. I don't think it's quite as bad as this, is it? Anyway, 4.1 seconds is the gap to Ricciardo. So that was 4.4, right? Has that come down? I think that's come down a little bit. We've still got pushing available, so you know, we can push when we're ready. In fact, probably now would be a good time to do it, I would suggest. So Perez just beginning to fall away from Verstappen now. There's those slightly more worn hard tyres, perhaps, you know, starting to have an effect on the overall time. Hamilton is all over the back of him, who's of course on the fresher hard tyre now, so he'll be hoping to get past Perez now and catch up to Verstappen at this point. That Mercedes has had some very good pace today. Alonso's just falling behind. So those runners that started on the softs came in for the hards. It looks like their hard tyres now beginning to drop off in comparison to the people that have put the hard tyres on later. Although it's not helping with the overtaking at the moment. Dear me. Yeah, Hamilton not getting past, is he? Quicker tyre. I mean, dare I say slightly quicker car today? I don't know. Maybe it was a similar pace car anyway. Not having much luck getting past, is he? 3.9 seconds is the gap now. Stabilised a little bit whilst we are pushing with Ricciardo. Just need to make sure that we don't push too hard. We do want to be coming in roundabout where we intend to come in, so that we can push the soft tyres as hard as possible. A multiple car crash apparently. What's happened here? We got a safety car. Hang on to your hats, folks. We do not have... And we do not have another set of hards. We do not have another set of mediums. So we can't really change strategies here. We have to stick out. Now this is catastrophic for us, come to think of it, because we have a gap with Norris which we need to have for when we put the soft tyres on. So this is catastrophic, and this is perhaps why taking a slightly slower strategy, going from medium straight onto hards and just eking it out, is maybe better than risking a two-stop strategy on a track where there's a chance of a safety car, because now our strategy is severely compromised. We've lost literally 15 seconds to Verstappen, which is exactly what we need to make this strategy work. And we can't change strategy because we don't have a new set of mediums or hards. This is crap. Mega crap. Absolutely mega crap. Abu Dhabi and safety cars cocking up your race. What is it with this damn track? Right, safety car it is. Was it a safety car or a virtual safety car? No, it says safety car.
Safety car deployed,
Okay,
safety car deployed.
Coming out now. There you go. This is terrible.
There's been contact and several cars involved.
Okay, let's have a look at this
Let's
pile
take a
up.
Closer look. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi.
Latifi again. Okay, it's not Latifi's fault that. I'll let him off. It was involved. Oh Lord. Ah dear. Yeah, restfully charged. Conserving fuel. Lap cars may now overtake. Yeah, all of the lap cars, not just a select few. Yeah, restfully charged. Safety car should be in this lap now, surely. Yeah.
Safety car is in this lap.
Safety car is in. So the only very, very, very slight saving grace is that we might be able to push now for a little bit longer because we obviously conserved our tyres a little bit on those. With the safety car coming in, let's just put everybody on full attack, full push, deploy.
Let's try and push up.
We need to create a gap
Roger.
here. So the cars behind, we just lost 15 seconds with Norris. Really bad. Really bad. Very, very, very much compromised our strategy. But we couldn't do anything about it. Unless I'm missing a trick here, we were stuck. We had no other tyres to put on the car.
Overtaking is from the line.
If we had a brand new set of mediums, we could have put another set of mediums on and got to the end on them, or another set of hards. We could have maybe tried to do that under safety car conditions, pit under safety car, put a fresh set of hards and take them to the end, but we didn't. We had one set of mediums, one set of hards, and that was our whack. Right, we're going. We're full pace, full race pace. Safety car is in. We're back up to full race pace here. And we need to literally, absolutely hammer it with both cars. They've been told they need to push. Push, push, push as hard as you can for the entirety of the rest of this race. Because when we come onto a set of softs, you're going to have to push those as well. So both drivers literally, in the next 21 laps, have to drive 21 qualifying laps, essentially, to get themselves anywhere near to the end of this race on the podium. It has to be done. There's no DRS for the first 3 laps. I think in this game it was 3. In real life it's now 2 after a restart. We'll see, but basically who cares? Forget about that, just put your foot down, put the hammer down. You've got to get the rest of the field as best you can. Full speed ahead for both of our cars, Daniel and Norris, P2 and 1 respectively, pushing like crazy to make up for the strategy being compromised by the safety car here. Fastest lap of the race for Norris, as I said, literally 21 qualifying laps. That's what you've got to do now. 21 we've got to hope to, it would be quite nice if we were to get like a 4, 5, 6 second gap, and then in 10 laps time the safety car come out again, or even a virtual safety car. That would be quite nice, because that would mean that we could come in and take advantage of the safety car rather than be disadvantaged by it. But we're not the only ones, don't forget, the likes of Alonso, they're coming in again as well. But it was too early for them to come in for their strategy. You know, the likes of Sainz, he had the same. Perez has been seriously compromised as well by the timing of that safety car. Verstappen is looking favourite for this race victory, I would suggest, at this moment in time. All he has to do is just keep a steady-ish pace on those hard compound tyres. And he is. He's staying within 1/7 of Daniel Ricciardo, which is mightily depressing. Now that we've disallowed the use of ERS, just lifting coast and tyre pushing is all we've got available to us now.
DRS is enabled.
DRS is enabled. It looks like Ricciardo isn't in DRS range of his teammate. I mean, it might be beneficial for him to utilise that. One potential strategy that we could use is take Daniel Ricciardo and sacrifice him and to slow down all the cars behind to give Norris a bit more of a gap to utilise for his second stop. But that would put Ricciardo's race completely compromised, because he'd have to come in as well, and he'd have just dropped behind the entire train that he created. So it would be pretty much a sacrificial lamb approach just to obtain a race victory. Very extreme, but these are extreme circumstances, I suppose you could argue. I think we'll just let them race as they are. Just let them race, let them go. We want to be coming in not too late. We don't want to extend this hard tyre stint for too long. We want to be putting those fresh softs on and giving ourselves enough laps to utilise the pace of them. So, yeah, we will be coming on pretty much bang on where the strategy said we should be coming in. Yeah. We ain't pulling away from Verstappen anywhere near as much as we need to. The cars that are two-stopping are coming in again, it looks like now, and they're going to go right to the back of the grid. The safety car completely screwed up the two-stop runners here. And these are all little things that you pick up and learn from, I hope, because I think next time, even though it's a slower strategy, given that we were on pole, we should probably have gone with a more conservative strategy, and the one less at risk of being compromised by random events, I suppose, in hindsight. When in doubt, just be nice and safe. One stop, not a problem. We've got the race pace, we've got the car. We'll just make the one stop work. And if we do get a safety car, we've got loads of soft tyres, we can change the strategy mid-race if we need to add another stop in. It's a lot easier to add another stop in than to take a, like now, to take a stop out, if you will. We couldn't go to the end on these hard tyres, so we can't do that. We are basically in limbo. So one for noting in the future, I suppose. But yeah, as things currently stand, things aren't looking particularly spiffing for us. More people coming into the pits. So look at Verstappen's tyres, 66%. I mean, they will make it to the end. But the only slight saving grace is they will be very warm at the end of the race, whereas ours will be brand fresh, spanking softs that will be half a second per lap quicker out of the box when compared to a brand new set of hards. Compared to an old set of hards, you could be looking at 1 second a lap quicker, maybe even more. So that's what we're relying on here. We're relying on us being able to claw time back on the better tyre. 29.4s for Norris, 29.7s for Verstappen, 29.5 for Hamilton, a very good, 29.3 for Russell. Anybody else on soft tyres? No. Vettel. The two stoppers have put a set of mediums on, so clearly they saved their medium tyres in practice, whereas we didn't. We were happy to put a set of softs on at the end rather than go medium hard medium. Medium hard soft, definitely a viable option. And these medium tyred runners may undercut us initially, because they weren't that far behind us. Verstappen matching the pace of Ricciardo, but Norris is pulling away slightly from Ricciardo. interesting as to how this strategy is going to play out. It really is. Quite interesting indeed. I'm certainly not going to be fast forwarding it just yet. As Norris has got a 4-second gap to Verstappen. Not quite a 15-second gap as it was, unfortunately, but nonetheless. Safety car right now would help us. Yeah, we'd stick a set of softs on. We could still make him go to the end. We couldn't push him as hard as we would like, but nonetheless, we'd be in the pack on fresh tyres. Yeah. Could do with a safety car coming out soon. Verstappen's actually closing on Daniel now, because Daniel's tyres, look, you can see 46% beginning to go off now. He's not near his pit window just yet. Got Ocon coming into the pits now. Is that a planned stop? Optimal pit window for Norris. So we'll stick with the strategy here. Don't want to be, as I said, I don't want to be going out too long on tyres that are really old.
Yeah, confirm. Happy to box at the end.
And we'll pick Daniel the lap after. I mean, he's losing time now because his tyres are just that worn. I mean, 3 seconds is probably just about enough to double stack. Probably just about enough to double stack. And we can't, yeah, we're losing time on these tyres. We have to put the fresher softs on now.
Okay, I'll box this lap.
Oh, so a little bit of pressure on the pit crew here. Double stack coming up.
Understood. And just remind you to use the pit limiter in the pit lane.
God, this is painful. Damn safety car screwed us massively here. But anyway, set of softs. Let's see what we can do on this set of softs here. Oh, look at that! Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We don't want to be going too far down the field here. P6 or 7 is just about fine. God, we're going to have to get past too many cars here. This is not good. Stay ahead. Stay ahead. We have stayed ahead. That was vital. That was quite vital that we stayed ahead there. Right, now we've got to make up all this time on the cars ahead of us. And pushing. We won't push these tyres too hard to start with.
Just be
and we'll
careful
push
with
towards
this
the
tyre.
back end of the race here. Ricardo is
And save fuel from now, please.
looking to
Save
get
fuel
past
from now.
Perez here. This is vital that we do. It's vital that we do. We have, let's go deployment.
So just keep taking care. You're doing a good job.
Not out of the tyres. Right, Norris P6.
Okay, keep
Fresh
looking into
softs.
the tyre.
Can he make them work? He's got to gain on all of these cars ahead. Hamilton is winning this race.
Okay, understood.
If Norris wins the race from here, it will be a very well-deserved victory, but he's got a lot of work to do. We've got Ricardo. He's been given a bit more of a hurry up. He's trying to break the toe of Perez. He's got 2 cars ahead of him to pass as well. Tense stuff here for the McLaren boys. Safety car ruining the strategy, and now the drivers are having to earn their keep. Who do we focus on? I mean, both cars are in a position where we need to pass. Right, let's go. Push. Aggressive. But this harsh should be fair game. This harsh should be fair game right down this pit straight. We should be powering out of this corner on the fresher tyres. We don't know whether to go left, we don't know whether to go right. I'm not giving him ERS, but I don't think he's going to need it unless he takes his foot off the accelerator, which is a ridiculous thing to do, Lando. If you want to get past, and now we've got to go behind this car for the entirety of this section. I mean, look at how quick we are compared to him. Around the outside here, around the outside, which switches to the inside, and then we should have the pace. We're going to turn down the car, and we've got to make up now 6 seconds on Russell. There is literally 12 laps to go.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
This just ain't happening, surely. We'll see. 5.8. Ricciardo needs to now also get past. He's struggling to get past simply because there's 2 cars ahead of him, which means that they get the advantage of DRS to defend. But we'll see if it helps as we come down into this left-hand corner. I really should be lunging up the inside if I was an issue. Just go for it, mate. You've got nothing to lose. Well, apart from you damaging your car at this point. But hey, right, full speed ahead. DRS open, but we should have the better traction. But no, look at that. He's got the DRS on his on the car in front of him, which puts us into a disadvantaged position. And this is absolutely painful stuff. And slow. How slow. How awfully flipping slow. Man, this is horrendous. Go, go, go. And as soon as we get up to full pace. Up the inside, come on. Oh, Jesus. This is crap. Absolute crap. Norris, 4 seconds. 4 seconds behind Russell. He's not winning the race from here. There's no chance. A podium is probably the best we can hope at this point. Tyres are hot. Ricciardo is struggling to get past these cars here. Absolutely struggling. There's nothing much more we can do with him. He's losing his ERS. The frustration. Russell, of course, has got DRS on Leclerc, which is going to hinder Norris's chance for us to get past. 0.1 seconds is this gap now. Can he get round the outside this time? This needs to happen. This needs to happen. Full overtake down the pit. Double overtake. Can we get a double overtake? 2 in 1. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Daniel, no, pull out. Pull out. Use the pace. Oh, he's going switching to the inside. Still got a pace advantage. Late on the brakes. Up the inside. Don't cut the corner, sir.
It's looking good.
Okay, we go again. We go again. And now we need to gain on Magnussen. Magnussen doesn't have DRS, of course. So that's a position that we should be able to make quite quickly. A good double overtake there in terms of overtaking on the corner, then overtaking the other car on the straight. 2 in short succession. As we continue now to push with Daniel here. Norris now we switch to our attention. We're going to go up to aggressive. We're going to start to push now as we're approaching the back of Russell and Leclerc. There's 10 laps to go here. We're getting past Russell and Leclerc. Actually, 3 seconds, 4 seconds to the front. Is it possible? Could well be, but we need to get past these 2 cars as quickly as we possibly can. The drama that this safety car has caused here. Just going to save fuels. I'm going to save the fuel, save the pushing, save the ERS, save it all for the attack. Sector 3 safe. Sector 3 competitor has crashed at Sector 3. Who can it possibly be? It's not Hamilton, it's not Verstappen. Who is it? DRS disabled. Safety car again. This is good for us. This narrows the pack. This is good. This is perfect. Oh, the safety car gods decide they want to smile upon us this time. They taketh away from one hand and then they think, no, it's harsh, we'll giveth with another. Oh, this is good for us. This closes the pack, and we are on faster tyres. Fresher, faster tyres. This is exactly the kind of thing that happened in 2021. We're now on the faster tyre. The cars ahead can't pit. They don't have a big enough gap to pit, so they're going to have to stay out on their worn hards. We're on fresher softs. This is absolutely fantastic news. Oh, people are pitting. Oh, they're all pitting for fresh softs. Oh, now we're screwed. Oh, I didn't see. Oh, I shouldn't have sped it. I didn't think they were going to pit. I did not think they were going to pit. They've all pitted. Coming in for fresh softs. Oh, now we're going to be on worn softs. It's completely flip-flopped. Oh, no. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, just when we thought we had pulled a blinder. Oh, no. Oh, we've clearly cocked this race up massively. Safety car's ending.
Expect the safety car will come in at the end.
We
of the
literally
next
have
lap.
to just push. We just have to push.
Okay, understood.
With both cars, there's just nothing we can do.
Let's try and push up.
Oh no.
Okay, gotcha.
And we had fresh softs available. We completely had
100% pace,
fresh
100%
softs
pace.
available to us.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Right, Lando Norris has to drive the race of his life. He is on worn... well, they've not put on brand new fresh sets. 85%. They didn't have fresh sets available. So actually, they've ceded track position.
Car in pit entry now.
This is not as bad as I thought, actually.
Okay, understood.
Hang on. Another twist in the tail. We're not as worse off as we thought. Go, go, go. Lando Norris getting this race underway. But this is where the action may well be. We're looking at Ricciardo, P4. He's got Hamilton and Verstappen ahead of him. Will he be able to make any inroads? I highly doubt it, given the pattern of this race, being that passing a car ahead of you is slightly more tricky. But they've got ERS, they've got DRS, the ERS, sorry, they've got the fuel. Norris is going to be given the push order. Try to break that 1 second to Hamilton, and then we can turn you down and manage the gap. Ricciardo, all over the back of Verstappen, but making a manoeuvre on him is going to prove to be quite difficult, but not impossible, but tricky indeed. Let's ride on board. Yeah, look at that. I mean, first and fourth wouldn't be horrendous, but first and second was definitely on the cards. But the safety cars did help us. Did not help us, hindered us massively, the first one. This one has brought the race back towards us. So overall, we can't really be too unhappy here. We continue to push with Norris. Got plenty of fuel. Can turn down the ERS pushing with both of them for the time being. Plenty of fuel. Tyres will get us to the end if we continue to push, but 1.7 seconds. We've eked out that gap. Now that we've eked it out, we'll just go down to standard. We'll see what the gap looks like when we're not pushing quite so hard on the tyres, because getting to the end on standard would be more preferable. This is not so preferable though, so Ricciardo will be told to push as hard as he possibly can. Yeah, it's a sprint to the end, really. Hamilton has had an absolutely fantastic race, must be said. I wonder where the Mercedes will be next season. I wonder where any of the cars will be next season. I don't think there'll be any major jumps in performance from one season to the next, but you never know, do you? The Mercedes are looking pretty good on this. It could be just a track-specific thing. Maybe they're getting the act together. Maybe they'll have a car that's closer to the Red Bulls and the Ferraris and us next season. Who knows? This is the excitement of it all. What's going to happen in the off season? Yeah, Hamilton 1.5, 1.6. So the gap is coming down when we're not pushing on the tyre quite so much. But as long as it stays to more than a second, we can manage the gap with Lando. Right, DRS is now enabled. Verstappen is out of the DRS range of Hamilton, which means that he could be vulnerable to attack from us. So we have got the slightly more worn tyres, so it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. Will DRS help us to get past Max Verstappen? 1.3 from Verstappen to Hamilton, 0.2 from Ricciardo to Verstappen. We've got the long straight coming, full overtake given. Here we go, let's have a look what happens here. Power off this corner, full overtake ERS, the pace, look at the pace, look at the pace, we've got the pace, we've got the pace. Deployment, and we're past Verstappen, up to P3, double podium, P2 could be on the cards here. Now need to get a nice little gap to Verstappen, pull away from him, get more than a second away, utilise the toys at your disposal. Big push from Daniel now required, as looks like Verstappen got DRS there and he's just clinging to the back of us quite nicely. We're going to end up bringing him into the range of Hamilton very shortly as we drag him round with us. We're going to have to go to neutral here to recharge that ERS battery up, as Norris has got 1.4 on Hamilton. Quite content at the moment. There's 5 laps to go, including the one we're on.
5 laps to go.
Ricciardo coming up to the back of Hamilton, 1.2 seconds at the moment. That gap, is it coming down? It seems to be. We could do with it coming down a lot quicker than that, because we need the DRS to help us to defend against Max Verstappen, who will get it on us here. But it's not looking likely. The gap to Hamilton isn't coming down as much as we would hope. The gap to Norris is just about looking a bit shaky. We'll give Norris a bit of deployment now and continue to push with the fuel and just ask him to lean on those tyres a bit more. Look at this, look at this, look at how close this is. Verstappen and Ricciardo battling for that last podium position, and now Ricciardo is in P4 again, but he's going to get the DRS down this straight. This is a manoeuvre that we've seen happen many times.
Red Bull moved up.
Look at the 4 cars. Look how close they are.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Look at them. 4 cars battling for that final podium spot as Norris starts to continue to put the gap on Hamilton. And Ricciardo is looking to get back ahead of Max Verstappen as they go side by side into the final few corners of the lap here. Showing their immense skills in not tripping over each other.
So there are 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go on this race as Hamilton is now 2 seconds almost behind Lando, and he's going to turn everything down again, apart from the lift and coast.
Be careful with this tyre.
Norris just managing that gap, doing a very good job. Ricciardo doesn't quite have the same luxury as we're going to put the ERS deployment down this straight. A big dose of deployment which will hopefully help us to defend against the incoming Max with the DRS open. Is it going to help him though? Max Verstappen is ahead, but we will get the switch back here, I think, again down this straight, because he was ahead at the detection line. So here we go again. We get the DRS this time, do we? Yes, we do, but we're a bit further behind on this occasion. So will we be able to get back past? I don't think so. And I'm just concerned about the tyre wear situation for Daniel.
Okay,
It's looking a bit touch and go. We might just have to make do with 4th and just have Max Verstappen drag us around the rest of this race and just utilise the DRS on him. I don't think we're going to get back past him with our tyres being 44% compared to his at 64%. Look at the tyre differential. We've pushed these tyres very hard. Maybe too hard, in fact. Could well be. Could we start to drop as low as even 6th with Daniel here? He's got to stick within that DRS range. That's the only chance we've got of maintaining P4, which I think is the best we can hope for with him now at this point. Just keeping an eye on that gap to Norris. Hamilton 1.6. Norris seems to have the pace. The tyres are worn, but he's not been having to push as hard as Daniel has, so he's got an extra 5% tyre life. He's got much more fuel available as well, so that he can keep not lifting and coasting at all. Just pedal to the metal. Right, yes, the DRS definitely helping us protect against Russell. Russell is a 10th behind though. Oh, it's so tight. It's so close. I don't think Daniel can push this hard for the rest of the race. Could be wrong. 10% tyre life before they completely start to drop off a cliff here. 3 laps to go. 2 when we cross the line. So close, so tight. Norris 1.2 seconds. Hamilton is gaining all the time. All the time he's gaining. Once again, we're going to have to go aggressive and deploy that ERS.
Maximum pace.
2 laps. Can he make it to the end? Sector 3 with an incident. Could it be a safety car, please? And we finish under the safety car? That would be nice.
2 laps to go.
Ocon's just run wide. It seems to be the only issue. But once again, we put Norris on the hurry up, and once again, he starts to pull out away from Hamilton. So completely and utterly managing the gap as well as he can on those much more worn softs. The crowd are cheering and clapping. Norris going for another victory. Back-to-back race victories here for Norris if he can pull this off. 1.5 seconds is the gap. And down to standard again. Ricciardo is fallen behind Russell. Leclerc will probably pick him off next too. This is a desperate situation.
Mercedes moved up a place.
Desperate situation indeed. Wow. Okay, well, Daniel's going to have to be left to his own devices here because I'm more concerned about getting at least getting the race victory here with Lando Norris. He's also got the fastest lap of the race. He's got 1 more lap to do as soon as he crosses this line, and he's got a 1.5 second gap, which makes me feel quite comfortable here.
This is the last lap.
Daniel has got to just hold out against Charles Leclerc for 1 more lap if he can possibly do it. We're just going to have to give him as much deployment as possible, much pushing as possible, regardless of the fact the tyres are knackered. Just do your best, Daniel. Just see if you can hold off at least the Ferrari. He's got DRS on Russell to help him. Nonetheless, it will still be difficult, still be tricky. 1.3 seconds is the gap. Going to give him push. So look at Ricciardo. Oh, he's managing. Oh, is he going to get back? Oh, hang on a second here. Hang on a second here. He's going up the inside of Russell. Can he get P4? He's not done yet. He's like, I'm not settling for P5. You having a laugh, pal? I want P4. Don't write me off yet. ERS battery empty. Even the pushing on the engine looks like it's marginal. The marginal.
Good job.
Norris is a second ahead of Hamilton.
With a great overtake.
This is high drama in the final laps. Norris could be around the last few corners. He's had an absolutely fantastic race, and even though the safety car hindered him in the first stint, he's managed to still make the race victory. Snatched victory from the jaws of defeat he has. He's crossed the line, and Russell on the brain here. Ricciardo finishes in P4. Oh,
Okay, that's the checkered flag. Well done.
holy cow. Holy cow.
Good job.
Okay, mate, absolutely fantastic job.
Whew. It's close stuff.
Okay, you'll take the checkered flag.
You're damn right we will.
Good day for the team. Good points.
You damn right we will. So look at the final classification. We'll look at it after the race. I'm just trying to get my breath here. Trying to get my bearings.
Look after the fuel on the lap.
So Lando Norris, despite a severely compromised race after the first safety car, given a reprieve after the second one. We thought we'd blown it when the other cars all came in for a pit stop. When the second safety car came out and we stayed out. But track position was key for Norris we could have, if we had not gone so quickly with during the safety car time, we could have perhaps put Daniel on a fresh set of sauce like everybody else to see what would have happened there. But he has to be given his dues. He battled back past Russell, who actually ended up going from 4th to 6th on the final lap there. Charles Leclerc nicking P5. But yes, look at that. Lando Norris, another race victory. 2 in a row. Is it 2 in a row? It's not 3, is it? I think it's 2 in a row for him. Absolutely fantastic turn out there as the McLaren boys pulled off a fantastic in-season development program to make themselves one of the top boys on the grid. Fantastic. Fastest lap point as well. Hamilton, Mercedes. Very good race by Hamilton there. Verstappen will be very disappointed qualifying second and finishing at third there. You would have thought his Red Bull would have had the pace to at least challenge for the victory. Daniel Ricciardo, as we said, very good job. 4 places made up for Charles Leclerc, Russell sticking with 6th, Perez dropping, and that was due to the safety cars really hampering his strategy today. Kevin Magnussen benefiting with 7 places gained to P9. So this is the final standings. The champion is Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz finishing in 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Lando Norris making it up to 4th position, Sergio Perez finishing in 5th, and pipped at the post. Lewis Hamilton with his 2nd place finish, getting 6th, snatching it away from Daniel Ricciardo. Final constructor standings here. Ferrari at the top, significantly at the top. Next season is going to be a good one. We're going to have to do very well to knock them off. That's a big, significant gap to make up. We've got the performance in the car now. Will we have it next season? Will Red Bull make any gains? What about Mercedes? They finished strongly in the final race. Could be track specific, but could be something else. There's your top 3: Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, and we weren't too far behind Red Bull in the end there. So, you know, if we're not battling for the constructors title next season, you would think that something's gone horribly wrong in the pre-season. Okay, so there we go. Money, money, money. Show me the money. Show me the money. We have finished our chassis. We don't intend to put it... I wonder if we should put it on the car to have that carry over to next season. Possibly, I'm not sure. I might just put it on just in case. But the season is done. The emails are in. Car part development is now locked. So we can't design or manufacture anything else. Well, at the end of the season, there's your drivers' champion, and we've seen the situation. We've looked at it already, but yeah, McLaren picking up some very nice points indeed. So let's end this and see what happens here. Board performance review. End of season board review. Assess my performance. Yeah, final position 3rd. Good outcome there. Long-term objective: win the constructors by 2026. We could be winning it in 2023, mate. If all goes according to plan. Potter ain't messing about. There you go. 3rd, 4th drivers. Norris there. Team rating has gone... Oh, he's now 739. The leader is 784. Constructors 608. Leader. Drivers 20... Oh, that's the team's rating. So our team rating has increased to 784 because we've got extra points for the constructors because we finished in 3rd. Drivers as 2. Heritage stays at 102. So we've increased our team rating, which will help with sponsorship deals for next season. Yeah, look at that. High board confidence. A bonus of 1.5 million. And here we are. 27th of November. Pit crew performance has... Oh... So basically, we lose pit team performance from season to season, as it says there, to simulate the fact that team members leave, get replaced, get a bit rusty in the off-season. So we could change focus, but the focus that we have basically is a balanced focus, which to be fair, is what we're going to stick with throughout. So, and the regulation changes for next season. Of course, we get less testing time because we finished higher up in the constructors than we did the pre-season before. So we're going to have less testing time. These are the price share changes which will affect the end of next season. So these won't come into effect until we're done with the series, really. So, but yes, we will still suffer less CFD and wind tunnel time based on our higher finish this season, unless McLaren finished third in the constructors 2021. Can't remember. Did they finish fourth or third? I can't remember. Anyway. Oh, Stefan Van Dorn, staff changes. Okay, so basically we're not losing any staff because they've got another year left on their contract. Driver changes. Technically speaking, we have got these guys under contract, which means, you know, we don't have to replace them. But the question is, do we replace them? Not them, replace him, Mr. Ricardo. Interesting. Interesting indeed. I don't want to go any further with the pre-season now because I kind of need to do a little bit of analysis. Can't do any new projects. We can still do research though. Yeah, that won't reach completion date, so we can't really do it. It's open, but we can't do it. We're already doing front wing. No point in doing any of these, I don't think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research about the off-season stuff. I don't know how it works, but I kind of don't want to be hamstrung by cocking this up. So I'm going to put a nice little hard save in here, and see how this plays out. But anyway, there you go, folks. Season is done. Good season all round. Between this session and the next session, well, I don't know what to do. I'll probably, because the next stream is going to be a little while away because I can't stream. But then it is Easter weekend, which means I'll probably stream a little bit more next weekend, perhaps. We'll see. But yeah, I'll debate what I'm going to do. But we've got the off season to do, so I might have a practice off season, off camera, just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, and then do the proper pre-season on camera, either recorded or streamed, or well, either one of the two. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. A bit of a dramatic race to finish. So yeah, let's see what next season will bring. Exciting times, and hopefully I'll also be able to install the 2023 liveries as well. That'd be quite nice if we can. But you know me, and mods don't get on very well, so we shall see if that's the case. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoons, wherever you are, and until next time, see you soon.